The Latin relative pronoun. In Latin, the most often used relative pronoun is qui, which directly translates in English to who or whom, depending on how it's used. The different ways of qui being declined are qui, quae, and quod. Here is a full chart of the singular declensions of qui, quae, and quod. In the nominative, you have qui, then quae for the feminine, and quod for neuter. In the accusative, you have quem, quam, and quod. For the genitive case, we have cuius for all three genders, while in the dative case, we have cui for all three genders, and in the ablative case, quo, qua, and quo. It's a little different for the plural. Plural is actually a little simpler in remembering because a lot more are the same. For the nominative, we have qui, quae, and quae. Note that the feminine and neuter are the same. In the accusative, quos, quas, and quae. In the genitive, we have quorum, quadum, and quotum. And in the dative and ablative, all six of those are quibus. Before we can go into how to use it in a sentence, I have to show a little bit of some vocabulary words. The relative clause, which I have color-coded in green on the slide, is the clause that begins with the relative pronoun, in this case qui, and modifies the antecedent, which is in red. The antecedent is the object being described by the relative clause, in this case, the slave who works in the house, who is the relative pronoun, and who works in the house is describing the slave. Something you have to note is that the relative pronoun must always be declined with the same gender and same number as the antecedent. So if it's a singular antecedent, so must the relative pronoun be singular. If it's masculine, feminine, or neuter antecedent, the relative pronoun must follow suit. So this example, servus qui in villa laborat est laetus, translates to the slave who works in the house is happy. In red, you see the antecedent, servus, or the slave, being described by qui in villa laborat, which is who works in the house. The qui is the relative pronoun, and then est laetus is happy. Another example of this, also color-coded for your convenience, is Ancilla, quam dominus vocabat, villam intravit, or the slave girl, whom the master was calling, entered the house. You see that it is whom as opposed to who because of the way it's declined, and I think Latin, in this sense, can help a lot of people in using who and whom correctly if they can understand this. Thank you. The end.
Only 16 times.
Good. Stop screen recording. This is a pain in the dick.